Slow start for the Jets. New coordinator, new quarterback, a lot of new faces. How long do you think it'll take him to gel? Maybe a little quicker because of Aaron Rodgers.
I expect this offense to kind of be firing on all cylinders quicker than Tom did in Tampa when he went down there in 2020.
Is it fair to assume that Aaron Rodgers is going to have a slow start with his first time playing with the New York Jets? Hey, Bills Mafia, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some former quarterbacks with the same career path as Aaron Rodgers.
I remember when Tom went down to Tampa because it is similar, and then when Matthew Stafford went out to the Rams.
One, notably, Brett Farve leaving Green Bay and going to the Jets, Peyton Manning going to the Denver Broncos, and then Tom Brady going to the Tampa Bay, as well as Matthew Stafford going to the LA Rams. So let's take a look at their stats. And at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal the average of all these quarterbacks, how they played in that first game with their new team. First, we could take a look at Brett Farve. Brett Farve here with the New York Jets went 15 of 22 passing attempts, and that's something that I want you guys to keep in mind. The minimal passing attempts, but fairly decent, right? 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, completion percentage of 68.1. How was 68.8% compared to the rest of the year? But going back to the passing attempts, we could see 22 passing attempts was one of his lowest totals. It was his second lowest total. So what does that mean? The first week, we're already drawing some conclusions here that maybe teams want to limit that quarterback's total passing attempts because they are brand new to a team. They are brand new to an offense, new wide receiver threats. And I know Rodgers' situation's a little different, and we're going to discuss that in a bit. One thing I noticed with Aaron Rodgers, his first game ever as a New York Jet against the Miami Dolphins, he had the highest quarterback rating that entire season at 125.9. We could see here the Miami Dolphins really weren't that bad of a team that season, going 11-5, actually losing in the wild card playoff game. Now moving on to Peyton Manning, we all know he eventually won a Super Bowl, not the first year, but we could take a look at his first ever game with the Denver Broncos going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look at the attempts again, only 26 attempts from a Peyton Manning who is a tactical passing machine in his prime, but he went 19 of 26, another high efficient completion percentage at 73.08, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions with a quarterback rating of 129.2. Once again, we could see Peyton Manning, the lowest passing total attempts of his season, being a first year with the Denver Broncos, was that first week of the season. This happened to be Peyton Manning's 4th best quarterback rating of that season. You could see the Pittsburgh Steelers went 8-8 that season going against Peyton Manning. Manning ended up winning that game 31-19. Yes, Manning had a heck of a performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but obviously Steelers only going 8-8 that season, not as good as the other quarterbacks. We're already starting to draw some conclusions from Brett Farve and Peyton Manning, seeing that their lowest passing attempt totals came that first week of the season. Why is that? I think it's because they are new to these teams. There is a little bit of a learning curve. There's a little bit of adjustment. Regular season football, passing to new targets, new weapons, new offensive schemes, new stadium. Now, Tom Brady, the GOAT, let's see what he presented his first game being with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're going to draw some crazy conclusions here. The highest passing attempt total here at 36, 10 more than Peyton Manning and a lot more than Brett Farve, but he went 23 of 36. A completion percentage dropped off a little bit at 63.89, 239 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and the first time we see an interception on the list, and he gets 2 of them. Quarterback rating of only 78.4. He was sacked 3 times, which ended up being a season high, a 3-way tie for amount of sacks. You see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kind of flip the script here, the norm, and giving Tom Brady a lot of passing attempts, but what ends up happening? His quarterback rating drops. He throws 2 interceptions. He's not efficient.
Tom, in those first few games, was running the Bruce Arians offense, and there were hiccups, and there were struggles, and there was a little bit of that newness that took time.
You could see Brady had his 3rd lowest quarterback rating in that first week of the season. The New Orleans Saints were a heck of a team, going 12-4 that season and winning a wild card game, but ended up losing that division round to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now for Matthew Stafford going to the LA Rams, we all know he won the Super Bowl his first year there.
Matthew Stafford went to the Rams, and Sean McVay immediately took the stuff that Matthew had run and implemented to their offense. Matthew took off immediately.
Matthew Stafford went against the Chicago Bears that first week, ended up winning 34-14, went 20 of 26, had a high completion percentage at 76.92, 321 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, the quarterback rating of 156.1. He was only sacked 1 time. Now, just like Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford was fortunate going against the Chicago Bears, who ended up going just 8-8 that season against Matt Nagy, and I believe he was fired the following year. Although they lost in the wild card playoffs, I believe this was beneficial to start the season going against an 8-8 team. So the proof is there. The lowest passing attempt total for Matthew Stafford came week 1, the very first game ever as an LA Ram. And we could see his second highest completion percentage came that first week of the season. Total passing yards that first week, he finished 4th in the season. You could see he had the highest quarterback rating after that first week. There are things that are important to note. The team that they went against that first week, how good were they that entire season? And just like Dan Orlovsky said, sometimes these offenses really cater to the quarterback.
Aaron is new there, but he also spent the great majority of the offseason there. So that takes away some of that newness. The second thing is, this is the same offense he's run for a great majority of his career, certainly the last few years in Green Bay. That takes a little bit of the newness away. Randall Cobb is there. So not only does he have the rapport with Randall Cobb, but Randall Cobb is teaching others the expectations on plays. So is Allen Lazard. So there's a lot of these guys that have been with Aaron, that have been in this offense. They've been with Aaron in this offense. That takes away a lot of the newness that they're going to have trouble with.
In Aaron Rodgers' case, who and what this video was all made about is the fact that he is Allen Lazard, right? He's got some familiar faces. He's got Nate Hackett, an offensive coordinator that is there. He's got Randall Cobb trying to get players like Garrett Wilson up to speed, right? Getting other players that Aaron Rodgers have never really thrown to. But seeing what has happened in the past between Brett Farve, Peyton Manning, Matthew Stafford, and Tom Brady, the GOAT, they all had basically limited passing attempts other than Tom Brady, and when he had more, he had 2 interceptions. As promised, I broke down the averages of all of these quarterbacks so we can clearly see it. 28 passing attempts was the average of all 4 quarterbacks. They completed roughly 20 passes on average. They had a 70.5 completion percentage. They threw for 252 yards on average per game, 3 passing touchdowns per game, and they had an overall average of 122.4 quarterback rating. And I know these stats seem a little bit scary when you first glance at them, but we have to understand that Aaron Rodgers is going against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills, who had the 4th most turnovers in the NFL last year, who really have a great defense. Sean McDermott calling plays.
If there's a little bit of a slow start, it's more of a credit to Buffalo in week 1 than a lack of continuity for the Jets.
We are not the 2020 Chicago Bears or the 2012 Pittsburgh Steelers. We are the 2023 Buffalo Bills. Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Trey White, and this entire defense. Ed Oliver, Poona Ford, some new additions, Taylor Rapp, Trey White is back for frickin' Bills Mafia, and then we got Dane Jackson, Christian Benford, Kyer Elam on the opposite side. We have a linebacker that is hungry to make a name for himself in Dotson. What is going to happen in this game, and the stats don't lie, truly believe Aaron Rodgers in this game is going to have fewer than 28 passing attempts, and what they are going to do is rely on running the football. Fundamentally, that is what the Jets offense is, a running attack utilizing play action. Dan Orlovsky even stated that Aaron Rodgers does a great job with play action, hiding that football, disguising the football. So we are going to see a lot of running and a lot of play action for the New York Jets in this week 1 attempt. For the Buffalo Bills to counteract that, we need to stop the run. Without the run, without having a true threat of running the football, the play action does not work. So the Buffalo Bills should come out, set out to stop the run. Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall need to be stuffed early and often. We need to force Aaron Rodgers to pass the ball, which absolutely sounds crazy, but for week one, seeing what these other quarterbacks have had to deal with, knowing that this is the best week to play Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets, this is the most uncomfortable Aaron Rodgers is going to be in 2023. And I truly believe if Aaron Rodgers has to surpass 28 passing attempts in this game, we're going to see an interception or possibly two. It's easy just to glance at the stats of all these previous quarterbacks that made their first appearance on these teams, and we're taking a look at the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, Peyton Manning, Brett Farve, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford. These guys are legit quarterbacks, and we see that they actually had some hurdles to deal with at that first week of the season. But if you guys enjoyed this video, it would really support my efforts if you hit like and also subscribe for future content. We're going to be going live during the games, doing everyday videos here, consolidating things for Bills Mafia. I want to hear from you too, so drop a comment down below. Check the links in the description too. Only a few more days here. Free shipping is going to run out after the first week, up until the first week of the season. So check out Buffalo Fan Shop below for free shipping. Also, BNC at SeatGeek, promo code BNC at SeatGeek will get you $20 off, possibly this Monday night game versus the Jets. I appreciate you guys, and go Bills.